The planning process group in project management, as outlined in the PMBOK guide, plays a crucial role in setting the foundation for a successful project. Here's what you need to know about the planning phase for the PMI exam. Purpose and importance. The planning process group focuses on creating a comprehensive plan that outlines how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. Effective planning increases the likelihood of project success by providing clear direction and minimizing uncertainties. Key processes. The planning process group comprises several key processes that work together to develop a detailed project plan. Develop project management plan. Plan scope management. Collect requirements. Define scope. Create WBS, work breakdown structure. Plan schedule management. Define activities. Sequence activities. Estimate activity durations. Develop schedule. Plan cost management. Estimate costs. Determine budget. Plan quality management. Develop human resource management plan. Plan communications management. Plan risk management. Identify risks. Perform qualitative risk analysis. Perform quantitative risk analysis. Plan risk responses. Plan procurement management. Scope planning and definition. During this phase, the project scope is planned and defined. It involves understanding what the project will and will not include, gathering requirements from stakeholders, and creating a clear scope statement. The scope provides a roadmap for project activities. Time and schedule planning. Time planning involves defining project activities, sequencing them, estimating durations, and creating a schedule. A well-structured schedule ensures that tasks are sequenced logically and resources are allocated appropriately. Cost and budget planning. Cost planning includes estimating the resources required for each activity, calculating costs, and developing the project budget. Accurate cost estimates are essential for financial management throughout the project lifecycle. Quality planning. Quality planning defines the quality standards and processes that will be used to ensure the project's deliverables meet the required quality levels. Quality planning focuses on prevention rather than correction. Risk management planning. Risk management planning involves identifying potential risks, assessing their impact and probability, and creating strategies to address them. A well-defined risk management plan helps mitigate uncertainties. Communication and stakeholder planning. Communication planning outlines how project information will be communicated to stakeholders. It includes identifying the communication needs of different stakeholders and determining the appropriate communication methods. Human resource planning. Human resource planning involves determining the roles, responsibilities, and skills required for project team members. It ensures that the right resources are available at the right time. Procurement planning. Procurement planning includes determining what needs to be procured from external sources, creating procurement documents, and defining the procurement approach. Integration of plans. All the individual plans developed during the planning process group are integrated into the project management plan. This comprehensive plan guides project execution and control. Iterative nature. Planning is an iterative process. As more information becomes available, plans may need to be refined and adjusted to ensure they remain accurate and aligned with project goals. Bond. My dear friend, I see you're interested in delving into the intricacies of project management's planning process group, aren't you? Well, allow me, Q, the quartermaster of Me6, to guide you through this fascinating realm, just as I guide our agents with their gadgets and strategies. Imagine a situation, much like one of Mr. Bond's missions, where a new project is on the horizon. Just as James requires the right tools for the job, a project demands meticulous planning to ensure its success. Develop project management plan. Think of this as the blueprint for the entire operation. Every gadget Mr. Bond carries is chosen with a purpose, and similarly, a project management plan outlines the approach, scope, budget, schedule, and how risks and changes will be managed. Collect requirements. Just as I gather data on the enemy's movements, project managers must gather requirements from stakeholders. What are their expectations and needs? This information forms the foundation for project planning. Define scope. In my line of work, defining the scope means setting the limits of a gadget's capabilities. Similarly, project managers must establish what's within the project's boundaries to avoid scope creep, much like ensuring a gadget doesn't do more than it's designed for. Create WBS. Just as I break down a gadget into its components, project managers create a work breakdown structure, WBS, that breaks the project into smaller, manageable tasks. It's like assembling a gadget's parts for efficient construction. Define activities. Just as I detail how a gadget functions, project managers define specific activities required to complete each WBS element. Each task should be clear and actionable, much like a gadget's instruction manual. Sequence activities. Think of this as arranging the steps in a gadget's assembly process. Project managers determine the order in which activities should happen to ensure a smooth flow. Estimate activity durations. Similar to estimating how long a gadget takes to assemble, project managers estimate how much time each activity will require. Develop schedule. Once you know how long each activity takes, you can create a schedule that outlines when each task should start and finish, much like setting the timing for a gadget's functions. Estimate costs. Just as I evaluate the cost of producing a gadget, project managers estimate costs for resources, equipment, and materials needed for each activity. Determine budget. Once you know the costs, you can determine the overall budget for the project, similar to calculating the total cost of a gadget. Plan quality. Much like ensuring a gadget meets the highest standards, project managers plan how to ensure the project's deliverables meet the required quality criteria. Develop human resource plan. Similar to assigning the right agent for the job, project managers plan how to assemble and manage the project team. Plan communications. Just as I provide Mr. Bond with the right information at the right time, project managers plan how to effectively communicate with stakeholders and team members. Plan risk management. Similar to preparing for unforeseen challenges, project managers identify, assess, and plan how to address potential risks for project success. Plan procurement. Just as I provide Mr. Bond with the right gadgets, project managers plan how to acquire and manage external resources, services, or products required for the project. As Q, I ensure that each gadget serves a purpose and is seamlessly integrated into Mr. Bond's missions. Similarly, the planning process group ensures that each aspect of a project aligns to achieve its objectives. Just as I provide Mr. Bond with the tools he needs, project managers equip themselves with the right strategies and plans to navigate the complexities of their projects successfully. Batman. My young friend, I see you're inquiring about the planning process group in project management, much like how I, Alfred Pennyworth, assist Master Wayne in his endeavors as Batman. Allow me to shed some light on this matter using our Caped Crusader as a guiding example. Imagine Gotham City faced with a new challenge that requires Batman's attention. Just as he meticulously plans his crime-fighting strategies, a project requires careful planning to ensure success. Develop project management plan. Think of this as laying the groundwork for Batman's operations. Just as he plans his tactics, a project management plan outlines the approach, scope, timeline, and resources required. Collect requirements. Just as I gather information about Gotham's criminal activities, project managers gather requirements from stakeholders to understand what the project needs to achieve. Define scope. Similar to Batman defining the boundaries of his mission, project managers define the scope to ensure everyone understands what's included and what's not. Create WBS. Think of this as breaking down a mission into actionable steps, just as Batman divides his plans into phases, each addressing a specific challenge. Define activities. Similar to how Batman outlines the tasks needed for a mission, project managers define specific activities that need to be completed. Sequence activities. Just as Batman determines the order of his actions, project managers arrange activities in a logical sequence to ensure efficient execution. Estimate activity durations. Similar to Batman estimating how long each phase of a mission might take, project managers estimate the time needed for each activity. Develop schedule. Once the durations are estimated, a project schedule is created, similar to Batman's strategic timeline for tackling each aspect of a mission. Estimate costs. Much like Batman calculates the cost of his crime-fighting equipment, project managers estimate the costs associated with each activity. Determine budget. Once costs are estimated, project managers establish the overall budget, ensuring resources are allocated appropriately, much like Batman ensuring his funds are allocated to the right tools. Plan quality. Just as Batman ensures his equipment meets high standards, project managers plan how to achieve and maintain the desired quality throughout the project. Develop human resource plan. Similar to Batman assembling his team of allies, project managers plan how to assemble, manage, and empower their project team. Plan communications. Just as Batman communicates with his allies and stakeholders, project managers plan how to effectively share information among team members and stakeholders. Plan risk management. Similar to Batman preparing for unexpected challenges, project managers identify and plan how to address potential risks to the project. Plan procurement. Just as Batman acquires specialized tools for his missions, project managers plan how to acquire necessary resources or services for their projects. Just as I, Alfred, provide support and guidance to Batman, the planning process group provides the foundation for a project's success. Just as Batman's strategic thinking and preparation are crucial for his missions, project managers equip themselves with thorough plans and strategies to navigate their projects successfully. Remember, just as Batman's planning makes all the difference, proper project planning ensures a smoother journey toward project completion. Andrew Jackson. Well, partner, it looks like you're interested in the planning process group in project management, but with a twist involving the fiery spirit of Andrew Jackson taking down those bankers. Let me take you on a journey through the eyes of Old Hickory himself. Back in the day, there was a whole mess of trouble with those bankers trying to control the nation's finances. Just like in project management, you need a plan to stand up to such challenges. Develop project management plan. Just like gathering a group of like-minded folks, develop a plan that lays out your strategy, scope, timeline, and resources. Make sure you're ready to take on those bankers head on. Collect requirements. Gather up the needs and wants of the people who want to see those bankers brought to justice. Understand what needs fixing. Define scope. Draw a line in the sand and declare what you're gonna tackle. Just like Andrew Jackson declaring war on those bankers, define what's included and what ain't. Create WBS. Break down the big goal of tacking down the bankers into smaller, more manageable steps. Divide and conquer, just like Old Hickory did with his strategies. Define activities. List out the specific actions you need to take. Much like Jackson planning his maneuvers, lay out your plan of attack. Sequence activities. Put your actions in the right order. Just like leading troops, ensure that your moves make sense and follow a logical sequence. Estimate activity durations. Figure out how long each action will take. It's like estimating how long a battle will last before victory is yours. Develop schedule. Once you know how long things will take, put together a schedule. Plan your moves carefully, just like Jackson planned in his strategic moves. Estimate costs. Calculate how much it's gonna take to bring down those bankers. Count the costs, just like Jackson did with his resources. Determine budget. Set aside the funds needed to make your plan a reality. Just like Jackson allocating resources for his campaign, ensure you've got the finances in order. Plan quality. Make sure your actions are of the highest quality. Similar to Jackson leading a disciplined campaign, ensure your efforts are top-notch. Develop human resource plan. Assemble a crew of folks who are ready to fight alongside you. Much like Jackson gathering his supporters, put together a strong team. Plan communications. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Just like Jackson communicating with his troops, keep the lines of communication open. Plan risk management. Identify potential pitfalls and develop plans to tackle them. Just like Jackson preparing for unexpected challenges, be ready for any surprises. Plan procurement. Get the resources you need to carry out your plan. Similar to Jackson getting supplies for his campaign, ensure you've got what you need. So, partner, just like Andrew Jackson stood up to them bankers, you can stand up to any project challenge with a well-laid plan. Use the spirit of Old Hickory to guide you, and you'll be tacking down obstacles just like he did.